everybody, this is Brianna from Sincerely Brianna Nicole, and I'm here with another video. I hope you all decide to become part of the family, the team, the squad, whatever you want to call it. Gang on all of that, whatever y'all want to call it. We just hope that y'all decide to become part of it. And excuse my stomach girl and sister girl is hungry, okay? I'm big hungry. I ain't ate all day and it's like 4 o'clock. Maybe it's like 2 o'clock. I don't know what time it is, but I ain't ate all day. That's all I know. If you've been here, you've been a subscriber, been part of the fam, welcome back. I missed y'all. I love y'all. And I know y'all been waiting on this video for a long time. So we are finally here to my labor and delivery story. Whew, y'all. So I guess I'm going to start with that Sunday before I had them. So that would be December 12th. December 12th, me and my sister drove down to Tallahassee for my appointment. Now, keep in mind, I was supposed to have been back in Tallahassee that Sunday before that. So, like on the 5th, I was supposed to have been back in Tallahassee. But something in me just kept telling me, don't go back to Tallahassee. I don't feel like it. I didn't feel like making that drive. I didn't want to do it. So, I didn't go back. So on the 12th, me and my sister drove down because I had an appointment on the 13th. I spent the night in my apartment, went to my appointment on the 13th, and then drove back to Tallahassee, not Tallahassee, to Augusta after the appointment. At this appointment, it was very unusual. One, because my normal doctor or nurse was not there, and I was really upset about it. Two, the doctor I had told me that I did not need to gain no more weight. And I was only 30 weeks pregnant at the time. So I'm like, excuse me? Who are you talking to? Because I still got 10 weeks left and the baby's supposed to double in size by the time I get to the end of this. So what are you saying? And she was like, well, you've already gained 35 pounds. I know how much I've gained, okay? At this point, I'm 210 pounds, and it's crazy because I'm 200 pounds right now, and I don't look like how I did back then. A woman's body is crazy. Like, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And my stomach is growling. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I was 38 hot by her telling me not to gain no more weight. We leave. Me and my sister go to Buc-ee's. And if y'all know about Buc-ee's, y'all know why we stopped through there, because I had to get me a brisket sandwich and some muffins. Yeah, I didn't care if I was 30 weeks pregnant and the doctor just told me not to gain no more weight. I'm going to eat at Buc-ee's, okay? You're not going to tell me I can't eat at Buc-ee's. So, so we got back to Augusta late that night. I got up for work Tuesday, was working per usual. Because I had just started my 3rd trimester, I was feeling really, really pregnant. And I was starting to leak fluid, some kind of fluid. I don't know if it was pee. I don't know if it was amniotic fluid. But I just know I had to go to the bathroom all the time, right? But I was also having a boy. If you're having a boy, you carry really low. So it feels like you got to pee all the time. So just one of the changes that I realized within those last couple days. And so Tuesday, my mom was like, y'all want to go out for dinner, blah, 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 blah. And me and my sister were still having to get stuff for the baby shower, because the baby shower was going to be in a month. It's supposed to be on January 15th. So we are now on December 14th. That's the day before I had them. Me and my sister and my mom would go get Mexican food. And by that point, I think I had been eating all day. And that was really unusual because when I was pregnant, I didn't eat like that. I literally had to make myself eat. Now, the one thing I was going to eat was some apples. Like, I'll go through some apples quick. But, excuse me, y'all. I had eaten Philly cheesesteak and fries. I had breakfast. I had lunch. I had the Philly cheesesteak and fries for lunch. Then I had like an apple after that. And then we went to go get Mexican. So I ate all my food. I had I think I had like shrimp fajitas or shrimp quesadilla or something of that nature. And then I had dessert while there. And then me and my sister went to Joann's and Michael's after that. And then I was like, I want some ice cream. So we went and got me some ice cream. We went back home. I ate an orange once I got home. Then I had my other brisket sandwich from Buc-ee's at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So that was really, really unusual for me, right? The next morning, I wake up and I'm like, I don't feel so hot. And I'm like, I bet you it's because I ate all that stuff last night, right? So in my mind, this is what's going on. I'm like, my stomach ain't really with what's going on. You know, my baby, he don't like it, or something going on that he don't like it, and I wasn't supposed to eat that much. So I get up, go to the bathroom, diarrhea. I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have ate all of that. Maybe that was just a sign from God. You better be glad that I love you a little bit and let that come on out, because you could have been hurting all day. The issue is that after that happened, still wasn't quite feeling quite right. Now the funny thing is that I had just started a new position at my job, and I was in training, so I was doing like all the online trainings, and so I had a little bit of leeway. So it wasn't like I was on the phone talking to anybody. I was just working, and so as I'm working, I'm like, I don't feel good, so I'm gonna go lay down for a minute, because they are also aware that I'm pregnant. Like, I'm very, very pregnant at this time, 30 weeks pregnant. And I lay down. I'm like, I can't really get comfortable. Let me get up. I think I need to throw up. So I go to the bathroom and I throw up. Still don't quite feel right. And I'm like, I really should not have ate all that yesterday. So I asked my sister, can you bring me some ginger ale or a Powerade and some crackers? And she like, yeah. She like, you okay? I was like, yeah, I ate too much yesterday, that's all. And like, honestly, that's what I thought was going on. I thought I just, my stomach was hurting because I ate everything but the kitchen sink the night before. So as the day progresses, my stomach is really, really hurting. And for those of y'all who did not know, prior to having Chiron, I dealt with a lot of digestive issues before. Not like IBS or anything like that to be concerned about, but like, I dealt with a lot of constipation. So I was like, I hadn't pooped in a couple days. Maybe this is what's going on. So it wasn't my first thought that I was in labor. So by the time around 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock goes, I'm literally stripped down to nothing but my sports bra, because I'm hot. Like, I'm hot. My stomach hurt. I feel like I need to throw up. And y'all know, I don't know if this happens to y'all, but when I have to throw up, my whole body get hot. I've got the hot spit, all that. So I'm like walking back and forth trying to like get myself together. I'm like, I don't know if I need to poop or if I need to throw up. So if I have to poop, let me just try to walk it down a little bit. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm walking back and forth from bathroom to bathroom, because there's 2 bathrooms in our house. There's one in my sister's room that's over here, and then there's one in the hallway right here. So I'm just walking back and forth with nothing but a sports bra and a comforter wrapped around me. And so I throw up again. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to lay down. Still can't get comfortable. I go sit on the floor in my sister's bathroom, which is where my desk, my computer and stuff was for me to work. And it feels like I'm about to poop. And I'm like, uh-oh, let me get up. So as I'm getting up off the floor, I look at the floor, and there's a spot of blood on the floor. Now, keep in mind, I told you I had this comforter wrapped around me. So I called my sister. I said, hey, I screamed at her because my phone was here in the living room. I said, hey, can you bring me my phone? So while she's getting my phone, I'm like rubbing my feet on the ground, trying to get the blood up and wrap the blanket around it so she can't see it. Because at this point, I'm like, if something's wrong, I don't want her to panic. I just, I need to make sure that I'm okay. So, and she comes in, she's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I just feel like I gotta poop. Or, I feel like I ate too much like last night, and I think I'm paying for it right now. So she's like, oh, okay. Which is, like I said, this happening to me like this is not unusual, because my stomach, because I've dealt with constipation for a long time, it just, when it hits, it hits. So sometimes I'll be on the toilet for a long time. So neither one of us thought anything of it. Now, I call 911, and I'm like, listen, I'm 30 weeks pregnant. I just got off the floor, and there's a spot of blood on the floor. I think something is wrong. And so she was like, oh, well, we can send the paramedics. I was like, no. I need you to tell me what's wrong with me. And she was like, well, I can't do that, so we got to send the paramedics. At this point, I'm cussing this girl out, because I'm like, Didn't I just tell you, don't send no paramedics to my house? Just tell me what's wrong with me, and then I can decide what to do from there, right? And I feel bad because I know she probably wasn't like a nurse or a doctor or anything like that, so she couldn't tell me what was wrong. And she was like, listen, I can't give you medical advice, so we're just gonna send the paramedics. So I tell the agent, I'll get off the toilet, and she also says, whatever you do, don't sit on the toilet. I've been sitting on the toilet all day, so it's too late for that now. So at this point, I'm livid because I'm like, I just want to know what's wrong with me. I want to make sure my baby's okay. I couldn't really feel if he was moving or not because I was hurting so bad, and I was like I wasn't. It never crossed my mind that I was contracting because up until that point, I had never had a Braxton Hicks contraction. I had never had, I've never had any kind of contractions, not even a real one. Like, I didn't know what they felt like. I was always told they felt like period cramps. What I was feeling was not feeling like no period cramps. It felt like I needed to poop. So I don't know if I had been contracting all night, if I had just started contracting when I woke up that morning, or what. I don't know. I genuinely don't know when I started contracting. But so I called the agent. I'm like, listen, this is what's going on. The paramedics are going to come to the house. And she was like, okay. So she goes and opens the door. I call Kyron's dad, and I'm like, listen, this is what's going on. I'm scared. Y'all forgive me if I'm making a lot of nasally and congested sounding noises. It's 16 degrees outside, and it's not playing no games, like, for real. So anyway, I call his dad. I'm like, listen, this is what's going on, blah blah blah. He's like, Brianna, I think your water broke. He's the only person in the world that calls me Brianna like that, but it's like, Brianna, I think your water broke. I start going off on him. I'm like, my water did not break. I don't know what you're talking about because baby ain't due till February 21st. So why would my water break now? It don't even make no sense. And he was like I'm just going completely left because at this point I'm pissed. Like, I'm like, why does everybody keep saying I'm in labor? I'm not in labor. I just want somebody to come check the baby. That's it. Because I'm bleeding. I don't want nothing to happen. I just want to make sure he's all right. And he was like, okay, well, he's like, well, I guess they're going to take you to the hospital, so I'll see you at the hospital. And I'm like, I ain't going to the hospital because I ain't having this baby today. I'm going off, like, completely off. And if you know me for real, then you know how my mouth is. Like, my mouth can be real reckless sometimes, right? Like, so he's like, well, stay on the phone with me until the paramedics get there. My sister says, Brianna, the paramedics are here. So they come in. It's 2 male paramedics. So I'm already like, these men gonna be looking at my cooch. I don't want these people looking at my cooch. I don't want them looking at nothing that's going on with my situation. Why y'all couldn't send no female paramedics? If I told you that I was possibly, well, I ain't tell you all I'm labor, but if I told you something's going on, I'm bleeding and I'm pregnant, why wouldn't you send a female paramedic, right? So my sister has to stay in because there's 2 male paramedics. They don't want to have any kind of liabilities or anything like that. So they make her stay in there while they check me. And it was like, we think your water broke. I'm like, keep in mind, Kyron's dad is still on the phone. And I'm like, my water ain't break because my baby ain't due till February, so why my water break? I just went to the bathroom. I had to pee. Y'all looking at pee. And it was like, no, ma'am, your water broke. So I'm still hollering, screaming. Kyron's dad says, I'm going to see you at the hospital in like 10 minutes. Bye. So sister takes my phone. She calls my first lady and tells first lady that I am in labor and that I have to go to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital. So the agent tells elect lady now. But she tells her, she says, Brianna says she's not going to the hospital. I hear her say, go give her the phone. The agent brings me the phone. She says, Brianna Cole, if you don't take your little butt to the hospital, if I got to come from my job to take you to the hospital, I know something. And I'm like, all right. I said, okay. I said, but can my sister drive me? And so the agent's not in there when it happens. So we call my cousin, who is Kyron's godmother, and we tell her what's going on. My sister is calling my mom on her phone. Mama's not answering the phone. Funny fact about my mom will answer the phone anytime, but anytime there's an actual emergency, she's nowhere to be found. And it's like the most annoying thing because we'd be like, Mama, we've been calling you all day. Where you at? And she was like, well, I had to take some me time, blah, blah, blah. Or I was in a meeting, or I had this, that going on. Like, literally, my grandmother had a stroke, and my mom was out doing community service and didn't know what was going on because her phone was in the car because she couldn't take her phone into the place, right? So this kind of stuff always happens. So the agent keeps calling. I'm on the phone with Toya, my cousin, and I'm telling her, they was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, that baby coming today. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. I don't want him to come there. I just wanted to go to church. Because the reason why I wanted to stay home so long, because it was so much happening at church and I didn't want to miss it. So I'm like, I just want to go to church. All I brought me was a few pairs of sweats and church clothes. Like, because I'd have no plans on going anywhere. I just wanted to go to church. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to go to church. So they bring the gurney in, and I start crying because I'm like, I've never had to be this person in the ambulance, and I don't want this to be me. I didn't want to get in the ambulance because I knew there was going to be an ambulance bill, and I didn't want that either. So I'm like, well, if y'all back up, my sister can take me in the car. My sister has an Accord, a Honda Accord, but it has tan interior. By this point, my water has broken her bed. I was bleeding on the floor in her bathroom. She had to watch them check to see if my water was broken. So she sees everything that's coming out of my body. And she's like, you're not gonna mess up the seats in my car. You're getting in that ambulance. I'm like, but I don't want to get in the ambulance. I don't want to. No. I don't want to get in the ambulance. So, sorry, y'all. I know this is disgusting, but I just got to get this out. So, they put me on the thing. Well, first, they were like, can you scoot to the edge of the bed? I sit up, and it starts hurting immediately. Like, I'm like, oh my God, what is that? Because I could actually feel his head coming down. So, keep in mind, he was born December 15th. They tell me to get on the gurney. I'm like, I need a sweatshirt, some pants, some socks. It's cold outside. All I have on is a sports bra. Y'all not gonna make me catch pneumonia to have this baby. I'm sorry. You're not gonna do it. So they give me a sweatshirt. They don't want me to put on any pants. I'm like, no. It's cold outside. I ain't got no panties on. Like, I just got this comforter wrapped around me, and you want me to sit here. So I put my sweatpants on. I actually still have these sweatpants in the closet, like, tucked away in the closet for, like, memories. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like going to the hospital. I don't want to go to the hospital. So at this point, while they're getting me on the gurney, my mom comes in. And my mom is probably the most dramatic person I know. Like, one of the most dramatic people I've ever met in my life. So she's also military. She was a drill sergeant when I was a kid. Like, literally, and I'm not just pointing a position out there because that's the only position I know. No, my mom was actually a drill sergeant when I was, like, maybe 4 or 5 years old. So she's trying to, like, you need to go. She's like, you need to go over there, and you need to go over there, and y'all need to hurry up and figure out what y'all gonna do with her because she's in labor and she's hurting, and y'all need to, like, she's, like, going off on these people, and I'm like, I don't even want to go to the hospital. Not my mama here yelling at these people. I just want to go to church. That's literally what I'm saying on the phone. I just want to go to church. I didn't want to have this baby right now. I don't want to have this baby right now. I want to go to church. So Toya's just like, it's okay. She was like, so tell me what happened with the Mexican food. As they're putting me in the ambulance, and I'm pissed. Like, I'm just, like, literally looking like this, getting onto the ambulance because I'm mad, like, mad that this happened to me. So we sit in the ambulance, and that's, I guess, when I set up, that's when I realized how bad I was hurting, because the whole time I was trying to lay down on my side. I was trying to sit up in a chair. I trying to, I never, like, just actually, like, kind of just prop myself up a little bit. You know how, like, in the thing, like, you're not sitting all the way, you're not laying flat. So I'm like, they said, ma'am, don't open your legs. Please don't open your legs. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, my legs are shaking. Like, I'm bouncing my legs, trying to keep myself calm. And I'm talking to Toya, and she was like, so what happened at this? Like, we're just having a conversation. She's trying to, like, talk me through the pain. And I was just like, whoo. Because at that point, I didn't feel like contractions. So what I think I felt was my water breaking. in the bed because all I know, it felt like something went boom, like, and it hurt so bad. And I screamed. My sister was on the phone with my mama. But other than that, I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything that urgent. So we're in the ambulance. We haven't gone anywhere yet. And they're checking my vitals, all this stuff. Toya's talking to me. My mama starts banging on the door of the ambulance. And she was like, are y'all gonna leave her what? Because she is in labor. Y'all need to do y'all job. And I'm like, oh boy. Like, I'm just, the thing, I don't like being embarrassed. I genuinely do not like being embarrassed. So my mom doing us is kind of embarrassing me at the moment. And I'm just like, I just want her to go back to her car. So me and Deasia have switched phones at this point because she was calling people at my phone to tell them that I was in labor. I had her phone. I was talking to my cousin Toya. So I'm driving to the hospital. I don't know what happened. Like, I genuinely don't know what happened on the way to the hospital. I don't remember the ride to the hospital because I guess the contractions were coming so fast that I was just kind of like, and she told me that I was like breathing really, really hard. Like, not like trying to catch my breath, but like just like taking deep breaths. And she was like, I got quiet. Instead of talking to her, I just got quiet and was breathing. And so we get to the hospital, and I'm like, okay, we just got to the hospital. I'll call you when the baby comes. They roll me into the hospital. They asked me my first and last name. I say Brianna Brown. And they're like, okay, we'll get your information upstairs. They turn the corner. So you come into the hospital, right? It's a desk right here. So when you come in through the ambulance entry, it's a desk right here. Boom. That's where they stop asking you your first name. They go around the corner and get to the elevator. By the time they turned the corner, I was like, hey, something's touching my leg. And they were like, what? I'm like, something's touching my leg. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an arm, if it's an umbilical cord. I don't know what it is, but something is touching me. Now, keep in mind, they told me not to put no pants on, right? But I had these sweatpants on. And the sweatpants, they're under my belly. So the drawstring in them is kind of tight. So, and they have the straps and stuff on me, on the gurney. So they're trying to reach down in my pants to see, but my pants are too tight and the straps are too tight. So they get up to labor and delivery. They roll me in to like the mid nurses or whatever, the ones that aren't in the room, because I hadn't even been admitted to the room yet. So I'm just up there. And they pull my pants down, and out comes a screaming baby. So I called Toya. Literally, this happens in 5 minutes. And Toya was like, didn't I just talk to you? What's wrong? And I was like, do you hear that? She's like, is that the baby? And I was like, yeah. So the baby was born anyway. I didn't want him to come there early. I didn't, honestly. And I remember like calling my mom. I kept calling my mom from DH's phone because I had her phone. And she wasn't answering again. So she finally, she's like, didn't I just tell you I was in the bathroom? And I was like, Mom, it's Brianna. And she was like, oh, what's wrong? I'm like, the baby's here. And she was like, for real? So they run out. Keep in mind, all this is going on. My parents have never met Kyron's father. So they literally are meeting in the waiting room. They see the baby. I remember them laying Kyron on me, and I was just like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Like patting him on the back, like, it's okay, you're okay. You're like, but then literally just as fast as he came out, he was rushed to NICU because he was 10 weeks early. So my parents got to see him before he went to NICU, and his dad got to see him and everything. And I just want to say my family held it down. Like, Kyron's dad, my immediate family, they held it down because there was so many things going through my mind at that time, like, about, what was happening. Like, how did I end up here? Why am I here? I still don't really know what exactly caused him to come early. I don't really care because he's here, he's healthy, he's very well taken care of. And it's crazy because at the women's retreat, which was the week before, like not the weekend right before, but the weekend before that, of But that weekend, I came up for a women's retreat with my church. And First Lady told me, she said, God said he's going to take care of the baby. He's like, the baby ain't going to go without anything. Da, 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 da. Keep in mind, I did not have a baby shower. My church family really didn't buy anything for him. When I had him, I didn't have anything here. And he literally did not go without anything. Literally, he did not go without anything. So, to see God move that quickly, and there was nothing wrong with him. He was 3 pounds, 12 ounces, 16 inches long, and there was nothing wrong with him. And it's so funny because I tell people all the time, my doctor told me I was pregnant, and I immediately told them, like, if my baby is over 7 pounds, cut me immediately. And they were like, you can't do that. You can't request a C-section. And I was like, well, I am. Okay? And what you gonna do about it? So, it's funny because he came out at that time. Had he came out full time, he would have been 10 pounds. A 10-pound baby, easily. By the time we brought him home, he was pushing 10 pounds. Like, we brought him on at 6 weeks. So he still wasn't even full term at that time. So, for that, all of that to happen the way that it did is so funny to me. Like, I tell people all the time, I never made a birth plan. I didn't do nothing because I was never going to make a birth plan, because if I made a birth plan and something happened that I had to go against it, I would have been very upset. So had that, even though my plan was to have a C-section because I knew he was going to be a big baby, he came out before he got to that point. So and I literally had no doctors really involved except for like my stitches and cutting I think the nurses even cut the umbilical cord, honestly. The doctor did my stitches, and that was pretty much it. They didn't have none of my medical history, none of that. So it was just like, anything could have went wrong, but everything went right. So I thank God for that. I thank God for my sister. My sister, let me tell you something. Last year, I got my sister an Instapot for Christmas. Even though it's not that expensive, it's something that she really, really wanted. My sister's into culinary stuff, so I got her that because, one, I told y'all, I was bleeding on her floor. My water broke in her bed. And I literally was bleeding in her, well, not bleeding, like not bleeding out, but like, when fluids come out, there's blood in it. So there's a big blood supply on her mattress. There's blood all over her sheets and her comforter and on the floor. She watched him do my stitches. She watched him check my water. And when it was time for me to come home, she had bleached the whole house down for me. And when I tell you, and even when I went back to work, she watched Kyron for like 6 months. And I'm so grateful for my sister. Like, there's nobody better than her. I promise. That one right there, you want to see me act crazy? That's mess with my sister. Literally. That will have me turn this whole world upside down, okay? But yeah, I'm really grateful for everything and how everything happened, because if it would have went any other way where I was still in Tallahassee, I'd have went through all that by myself. And yeah, so that's all I got. I ain't got no more. I hope this was well worth your wait. But yeah, so I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.